Welcome back, action figure fans, for another amazing video of 10 random action figures pulled off of my shelves. We're going to be looking at some Marvel Legends today, some Marvel Selects. These are some amazing figures here today, as they always are. These things look so good, don't they? Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. Let's go back to the Prince of Power, the Lion of Olympus, Heracles. Most people call him Hercules. That's the Roman name. The correct Greek name is Heracles. And he is the son of Zeus, an immortal woman. He was a demigod, and then he did die, and Zeus resurrected him as a full-blooded Olympian god. He's got to be one of the strongest characters in the Marvel Universe. He's right there with Thor, Wonder Man, Hulk, and his calmer states, of course. And he's powerful. He can go toe-to-toe with Thor. Even though I think Thor does have the absolute edge, he does have a enchanted hammer made out of a metal on Olympus that's very close to adamantium. So Heracles is an Avenger. He is a classic Avenger. He's been a member for a very long time, and he is just a beast, man. Anyone would want to have him on their team. He's very hard to beat, needless to say. And that's a great classic Heracles figure. He came packaged on a retro card, so definitely go out and pick up Heracles. You need him for your Avengers collection. Okay, moving on to, I believe, another Avenger. Later on, he was in the Avengers. This is Darkhawk. He came out in, I believe, 1990. And visually, he's a very cool character. He's a young man that, through this amulet, is transformed into this alien armor, the Darkhawk armor. And he is powerful. He is, he's at that Spiderman, maybe a little bit higher level power. And visually, like I said, he's just a really cool character. I like him a whole lot. He's a good character to have in your Marvel collection. Okay, moving on to a X-Men Classics from, I think, around 2005, 2006. This is a Nightcrawler. A little bit different than what you normally see. He has gray skin here instead of the more traditional blue. I do like this figure a whole lot. He came with these swords that you can put on him and take off. I don't really have him. He doesn't really hold him very well, so I just leave him on his back there. But he's a nice looking Nightcrawler. And if you want one a little bit different than the traditional one, then pick this one up. Don't know what he runs on eBay nowadays, but I'm going to guess he's probably in that $20 to $30 range in package, probably around the $50 mark. But he's a cool character. I like that Nightcrawler a lot. X-Men Classics line. Okay, moving on to Captain Marvel. There are so many characters called Captain Marvel. Okay, DC has Captain Marvels. Marvel has Captain Marvels. Anyway. Monica Rambeau, I believe her name is. She is an Avenger. She has really incredible power set. She can turn into any form of the electromagnetic spectrum. She usually just turns herself into light, which is photons. So she can travel at the speed of light. And she can turn into X-rays and gamma rays and all kinds of stuff. So talk about the ultimate scout. She could scout at light speed. Couldn't really stop this lady. She can move that fast, and that's a good figure. This is her classic costume. I think they've made a version of her with a different costume, but this is by far the best. She came 2-packed with the Secret Wars Doom, which I'll get to him. He's an amazing figure. But this is the best one they've ever made of her. She's the classic version, and I really like her. I like that figure a lot. Okay, moving on to one of my favorite Hulk figures of all time. This is a massive, massive World War Hulk, one of the coolest storylines ever in the Hulk series, World War Hulk. Please check it out. It's an amazing run. So this is where the Hulk was a slave on a planet for a while, and they had these slave discs you can see right here, and the Hulk was depowered going through this dimensional portal to get there, and he slowly gained his strength back, but he was forced to become a gladiator in these arenas, fighting to the death, and eventually he took over the planet, disposed the evil Red King, they called him, and married a lady and was going to have a baby with her until something bad happens. And he comes back to Earth blaming a lot of the heroes, and you got to read World War Hulk as well. But look at this figure. It is incredible. The only thing I would say is that he doesn't hold his weapons quite as well as I would like. I wish his hands, or maybe have different change of hands. But it's a small thing for such an amazing figure. He is humongous. He's imposing. And the costume here, I guess you call it a costume, is just great. I mean, it's an amazing figure. One of the best Marvel Selects. And like I said, look at him compared to these other figures. I mean, he dwarfs them. But that's Marvel Select for you. But, you know, the Hulk really, he does not have a consistent height. A lot of it depends on his rage, how angry he is, but he can transform and oftentimes be between 8 to 10 feet tall. This is more of a 10-foot tall Hulk. So I think this is perfectly fine. You could actually have him with your Marvel Legends, and he is in scale, a 10-foot tall Hulk. There you go. An amazing figure. You can still get him on places like Big Bad Toy Store, and he's a great deal, so go pick him up. You will not be disappointed. Okay, moving on to the bad guys. Here is a Black Panther Fantastic Four villain, and he is named Claw. He is a being of solid sound, so basically he can't really feel pain. You can chop his body up. He's composed of sound. And sometimes his body pulls back into his little sonic blaster here, and then he can reform himself. He's actually kind of like Green Lantern. He can project solid sound projections out there, and for a variety of effects. He's been around in the Marvel Universe for a very long time, and he's a cool figure. I believe this one came 2-packed. I think there's 2 Claw figures. This one's a little bit darker red, and he was 2-packed with, I believe, a female Black Panther. But he's neat. He's a classic villain. If you have a great Marvel collection or Marvel Legends collections, you definitely need a Kang to be in there. Okay, moving on to Egghead, and he's, what can you say? The name says it all. He is a super genius, an evil dude, and no superpowers really, just, you know, his inventions can make him somewhat dangerous, works with the Masters of Evil and things like that. So as far as the figure goes, I mean, that's what it looks like in the comic books, and you can see how he got his name. He's got that egg head. So not a bad figure, a nice little villain to have, especially for any kind of Avengers collection. He's a villain to have. All right, one of my favorite Spider-Man villains actually is Puma. Puma is, think of a werewolf, but this is a cat wolf, right? This is a cat werewolf. So he can turn himself from man into a human panther, and he's fought Spider-Man many times, and he is, I believe, a little bit stronger than Spider-Man. Spider-Man can bench press 10 tons. He can bench press 12 tons. He is on par with Spider-Man with speed and agility and endurance. So he is a very, very formidable bad guy. So I would like to see him used more. He'd actually be cool, I think, to swap over and become a somewhat, you know, hero. I could like to see him in some Avengers crossovers or something like that. Anyway, that's a cool figure. Puma. Very, very cool. Pick up Puma. Okay, moving on to a Spider-Man Classics retro packaging Scorpion. And this looks like the cartoon back in the 90s. They have that bright green paint job. Toy Biz had a figure just like this back in the 90s. And so this is obviously made to look like that, capture that retro feel. And overall, it's a really nice figure. This tail is bendable, somewhat posable. And I think it's a good Scorpion. I mean, it's not perfect, but for what it is, it's pretty good. And I like it. Nice Scorpion figure to have. All right, like I said, I'm a sucker for any kind of zombies or any kind of vampires or anything like that. So this is a Diamond Select, and it's a zombie Spider-Man. I already showed in one of my videos the zombie Captain America, and here is the zombie Spider-Man. This is amazing. Look at the bones exposed. You can see the skull right there. It's not very articulated, but hey, you know, it looks really cool on your shelf. The blood effects and everything about this figure, I love these zombie figures. Marvel Selects has done a great job. And I don't think Marvel Legends is going to be putting out a zombie Spider-Man anytime soon. So if you want zombie, go get the Marvel Selects. They're great. They look amazing. Okay. So there we go. That's the 10 figures for today. 5 bad guys and 5 good guys. I hope you're liking my videos. Thank you to everyone who are watching them. Please check out my other videos. I have quite a few now. Remember, I'm making them for you. And the other thing that happens is these videos are made for kids, so there's no comments. So if you'd like to send me a comment about my videos, then there's my email, todd03allison@reagan.com. Go ahead and send me a comment or two. Tell me what you like about my videos, what you might like to see. All right, take care.